All right, y'all. So let's jump into this drama with Xscape.
Not
Um,
Escape.
so we have Xscape 3 on tour doing promo for their lives. Um, they are popping right now for all the wrong reasons. It's not like they got a hot song on the radio. It's not like, oh, did y'all see that they was looking good somewhere? Because Biggie told y'all. Um, LaTocha got Escape popping for once. Shout out to Kandi. Let somebody else handle it. But it's not for the good of the good. So LaTocha is being attacked and she's singing Negro spirituals on the social medias.
Is she
And
being attacked though?
or is she causing the attack?
Right,
Like
like
Nicki Minaj Massive Attack song. Sometimes you just gotta stop fighting because she let that shit go.
random.
It's random.
Um, yeah, I hate how everyone jumps to Candy being wrong or somebody else being at fault whenever. I mean, this is not the first time that Tasha's had issues with the group or her trying to go solo or issues with
Mm-hmm.
her, husbander. It's like that. I don't know. I don't know. It's been very interesting the last couple of weeks. Everything with the Soul Train Awards and then the different dress that fiasco that they hit on with Latasha,
Yeah.
and then we still don't know whether the whole mistress thing really was a hack or is there really a mistress out there and they just kind of talked her into recanting her story. There's a lot going on right now.
Yeah. So
There's a
speaking of
lot
that, so you
allegedly.
listed some of the things allegedly. You listed some of the things that she was going through. So you mentioned the alleged baby mom of her husband, Rocky.
Husband, yes.
So allegedly it came out that he was cheating on her and have been for a while and got a baby named Timeless something something.
Bivens or whatever. Is it
So
last name
the
Bivens?
name should have like the whole thing was weird because it was the story was released to like all the blogs at one time. So it seemed very weird. And the
Well, you
room
know how news hit it. Okay, it kind of does hit like blogs like that. Once somebody reports it and there's news, everyone just keeps reposting the same thing. So
yeah,
I
but
don't think that was
no,
such a.
it was all at the same time. And like when people like reach out to the blogs or pay, sometimes they pay for it to drop everywhere because it's somebody else paying for it. It's promo sometimes. So that was the rumor that people thought this was a stunt by Kandi. Kandi was one of the big
But
rumors.
why Candy?
It's not me. Ask Hollywood Unlocked and all them. So they grouped Kandi in with the alleged baby mom because they took a picture together back in the day. So if you go to her page, she's taking pictures with a bunch of Atlanta celebrities. So the fact that she took one with Kandi and LaTocha hate each other guts allegedly,
I don't
and
even think that's true. They're
oh
at odds
girl,
right now. You think they hate each other guts?
they've
I mean,
never
that's
liked each other from the every time they've done it. Like people are going back
this
showing
is
old
all
clips.
alleged. Like this
Yeah,
is just
it's
this
just
is
like
this.
Destiny's Child. You go back and look at Beyonce, and she didn't like them for real. For real, when you look at it, you go back and look now.
I
It's
don't think she
always
didn't
been
like
there.
them. I don't think she didn't like them either. I think there was discord. I think there was issues. I'm not saying everything was, hunky dory there, but whether that we don't like each other like that down to the core, I don't know if we can make that leap. Well, no one's in the room with them. No one knows their true history or what they go through. I mean, that's just assumptions by saying that they don't like each other. We don't. There's no fact there. There's no that's not proven anywhere. No one has said. Neither one of them has said we don't like each other.
Well, Candy did come out and say she wasn't fucking with neither one of them ever, and she only got with them because of the whole movie thing and stuff like that. Candy don't like this. Candy did not fuck with them for a while. Didn't even talk
She
to them.
but okay,
So then
even in
they
this interview, she did not say I don't fuck with them. That's not what she said.
because she's not going to say that because this is still money. I'm saying the reputation in the industry and everything that's been going on, and her husband and Tasha said it before, like there was a battle between them of who is the best singer of the group or who's the face of the group. They've
Oh
always
no,
had
and
that
I get
internal
that. I'm just
struggle.
saying I get that, but I think it's a leap to say we can't stand each other or we don't like each other. I mean, there can be struggles. I mean, but I don't know that they hate each other. I don't know that. That's all
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah, and that's the good part about everybody has their different thing, and with Escape, it's so different because people hate Latasha and say, "Oh, this is your fault." People hate Candy and say it's your fault. I love Candy, but I think she is messy, and she like her ways are being exposed more and more. But she's normal, but I think it's being exposed more and more. So I was blaming her, not blaming her, but I know she kind of has the power behind Escape, whether people choose to believe that or not. In my eyes, she runs Escape and it look at the
I don't think
actions.
so. I
Look
don't
at
think
the
so.
action. She held the name. Like she has the power. Again, people might say whatever about the name, but the fact Candy has the power, she has the followers. Ti said it himself. Escape is whatever Candy wants to do, however she wants to do it, and y'all listen. He said, like people, I love that people bring up the clips and show all this shit. Like it's been implied, it's been like it's Escape because of Kandi now. Like if Kandi didn't want to do none of
I
this,
think that's fact because Kandi for so long refused to reunite with them because of the issues they had until they worked that out. She wasn't trying to go on tour with them. She wasn't trying to reunite because they weren't. They still had lingering issues over the years. Kandi holds a grudge. That's what she does.
yeah.
And so I mean, I don't necessarily think that makes Kandi, running things. I think Kandi clearly, if Kandi's not there, there's not going to be a group. That does not mean she's running things. That doesn't mean that she's making only decisions and that she's the only one, with the power there. I don't know. I think it's easy to blame Kandi because she's the forefront, because she's the one that's out there. She's the moneymaker. She's the one that's been successful. She's the one, like you said, because she came back. Now we can tour. So it's easy to throw the blame when something goes wrong on Kandi because who else are you gonna blame? I mean, she's the most famous one out of the group. Let's be honest.
I don't think because you're the most famous means you gotta be blamed unless I know y'all have issues and it's been kind of stated and we know for a fact. And then it's just more and more. I think it's the issue because it's not and it's no shade to the other women. Y'all are your own selves. Kandi to me is the group lead, the team lead of the group, but it's also like she's the executive producer of the group to me. So I'm not saying she makes the decisions, but I kind of make the final say. I decide what makes the final cut. So if I don't want to do it, we're not going to do it. If I want to, we're going to do it. I think, executive producers don't have all the power, but to me, I think it's kind of rough in a group being a group member because it's hard being in a group, period. And to me, my view, I know she's not. My view is she executive produces the group. So when you have those situations, you become Natalie Nunn and get your ass beat on your own shit.
But Kandi got her ass beat, so let's be clear there.
Kandi, I know I'm saying
Kandi pulled no loss like that.
But it could get there now that we're fighting and LaTocha's going through it with, like, again, Kandi, the group, her sister, and her mom. So we have this interview where she addresses that. So I know some people don't know that the sisters actually have their own drama, and the sister feels like LaTocha brought their family drama to the public. So let's play this clip.
What fixable?
The situation.
I mean, I'm not mad at my sister. I love my sister, and I'm always here for her, just like we're here for her. Yeah. It's not the personal problems that we're having as a family should have never been spoken on, but she decided to speak on it to clear her name, saying that because people were saying, well, your sister didn't tell you about this, your sister didn't tell you, and then she's like, well, no, I'm not talking to my sister because she disrespected my mama, which was a lie.
Pause.
So yeah, this started. This interview is with the Big Ticker morning show.
Shout out to B103 in Atlanta.
And so this is really the first time they've collectively, as the three, have really addressed the issues going on right now. And so I love it that it was posed to the sister, and then the sister jumped in and said, I love my sisters, but she brought family drama to the forefront just to try to defend herself regarding her own shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
why does Tiny look like that?
We're not doing that.
And so that right there in itself, that hurts. You know what I mean? Like this whole thing is just out of control. But the reality of it, my sister started working on her deal long before we started doing the show. Mm-hmm. During the show, she has been alienating herself from us. Mm-hmm. Her manager's called Tiny and said she's booked. And when she's unbooked, they'll let us know.
Okay.
And as far as the rumor,
what? So I this is the hard part about having a career and then this seasonal assignment, because Xscape is not we're not a real group. It's not a job. We don't have
it. I don't understand why you are so pessimistic regarding them. What do you mean they're not a real group?
I'm saying they're not currently on the road like promoting music that way. They're just doing shows for money. They're not like making new singles. They're not. We're just coworkers. We come together for. I'm saying we come. No, you're still an employee if you come to work. If we come together seasonally, we're temporary hires. So, so people are calling Tiny. Okay, well we'll go ahead. This is messy.
About the promoter threatening her husband. The truth of the matter is, he threatened him first. And we have the email.
You saying Rocky threatened the promoter
yes, first.
Gotcha.
So when I presented the girl's information or whatever, we called the promoter and he was like, the reason why the reason why I didn't retaliate to that threat is because of y'all. So she took that as a threat, but he threatened the promoter first. And
got it.
All right, well,
Life is short, ladies. Let me just say,
pieces of the story.
So
Okay,
we heard about that as well with the whole promoter thing, that, her husband was threatened. And so that was the reason why, she wasn't doing shows, which is, according to them, not accurate. Like, first of all, he threatened first. And second of all, that had nothing to do with their issues they have going on. It's just.
So, and this is the sad part. Somebody telling the truth, and we don't know who. We won't know because LaTocha came out and said they threatened my husband. And it's like, okay, if they did, stand with your man because nobody's gonna threaten my man and I'm gonna work for you. But if this is the case, but we won't know who's true. But it looks more like the other ones are true because it's 3 of them and 1 of you. But then that don't mean nothing. We could just team up.
But this is the problem when you work with people that you have to go home with. Like that's problematic because now if your group has an issue with your management or your team, then and that's somebody you go home with, that's a whole different layer of issues that we're bringing into it. Because of course you're going to try to stand by, the person who thighs you sleeping next to at night. Shit, like
not thighs.
I'm just saying, like
you're gonna
defend that, So it's like I understand that, but at the same time, that's why it's so messy. That's maybe why you need a separation from business and personal. Like that's just a recipe for disaster. Like because they don't have to have the same allegiance to your man that you should have. You know what I mean? It's just that's messy.
It is crazy.
And we haven't said our piece because at the end of the day, we love Tasha and we don't want to be going back and forth on the internet trying to bash each other like it's crazy. So we just wait and we're trying to wait. I'm telling you now. I mean, if it keeps going on, I don't know how much I can hold. But
we don't really want to say that, and I just cannot.
So she's trying not to be messy. She's trying to, they basically saying we're trying to let her have her little tantrum. We're trying to let that happen so we can get over it and we can move forward as a group. But she's making it hard. And eventually you can't keep, letting this shit fly without us saying something.
I truly think now that not Tiny caused it, but I think she's the one like at the over point, like at the Soul Train Awards, she and my girls and just her actions and the way she's been trying to hold herself back, she is irritated. Like I went back and watched that video and people are breaking it down and the way they cut the clip, like they are dissecting everything and people who are there like,
well, do you blame her for being irritated? We are grown ass women at big ages here. Big ages. Like, why are we going through all this? Especially when the stigma around girl groups and not being able to stay together and stuff like that. Like, why are we letting this shit happen? Like we're in high school all over again. Like we should be able to better navigate this at this point in our careers. We should be able to have, issues behind the scenes that don't have to come to the forefront. Like all this didn't have to happen. It really didn't. And I'll let the video keep playing. You ready?
Hold on 1 second. I'm going to ask you a really strange question. And I know it's going to sound dumb as fuck, but I like asking questions. Do you think Xscape is bigger now than they were then?
No.
And see, I do.
They're not.
Okay, you can keep going. Y'all let us know what you think about that.
Why would you think they're bigger now?
I think now, well, nobody's selling anything. So now bigger is in terms of your brand, and I think Xscape is being mentioned everywhere every day. I don't think they ever had these kind of impressions online before. It's a different era. Their music was popping before, but they never had like #1s and stuff like that. There was always a little group that could, and we liked them. I think
and I see
the past 2 years, like
if they had music out there to push right now though with the drama and the clicks and shit, then I would say they could be bigger now or targeting or on track to be bigger, but they're just this is not going to turn into massive streams of their old shit. So I don't think they're necessarily bigger now. I don't think so. And I still think, I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut you off. The younger generation, they don't really give a fuck as much as this is our era. This is we're talking about it a lot. The kids ain't really talking about it because they don't have that connection.
And see, I think the only reason that I would say they're bigger now is because Kandi and Tiny are megastars, so it brings more attention to it. And then the fact that people already, choose to believe that Kandi and LaTocha have hated each other. So it's just it's so much. We knew rumors of that back then, but now seeing everything and just pulling everything up, everything is so apparent now. So it's just their name is bigger. They're on their second reality show. Like
I guess it depends on how you define bigger.
Yeah, Xscape would have never had a reality show back then. Like nobody even wanted to see their music videos.
Well, I mean you can't compare that time back then. Reality shows weren't popping like that. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying what you use for fame. I'm just saying. So back then they were judged by their music. It never hit masses the way their brand is now, getting TV shows, going on tour, being the headliner for the Monica Tamar. Like they've had a moment for 2 years and they just can't do right by it, and it's fucked up. You know how many people will want this? June's Diary.
I'm just getting tired of being blamed for everything. But I'm like, if anything happened, it's like Kandi did this or Kandi made them do that. I didn't make anybody do anything. If anybody remembers, I was not, trying to do anything. They, were more so the ones that saying, let's do the show. So I wasn't.
So very clearly, she said, I didn't even want to be here. Like, so y'all blaming me for shit breaking apart. Like, I even wanted to be on this assignment. Like, I'm literally helping these girls out. Like, that's kind of what she said. So why are y'all blaming me when I'm the one coming here helping them get checks?
Yeah, and I get that, but I still think there's stuff behind the scenes with that, because I don't need y'all need me. And then LaTocha feels like, well, y'all need me vocally. I feel like there's always going to be that clash, but I feel like they're right in their stance. It's just how do we work past it?
In this situation here, then what does that have to do? What does this situation with whatever LaTocha's going through has to do with Kandi right now in this moment?
Because a lot of people,
what is the blame on Kandi? Like, what does she do to make LaTocha want to not show up to shows or have a new gospel album? What did Kandi do for that?
Again, we don't know. I'm just saying it looks like it's the fact that you're the group member and you're the group executive producer to me. It's just your role is different, and it's already hard being in a group. But when you have the power, the name, and the executive producer, it's hard. Like, what if I feel something, but I can't get it done because Kandi don't like it? You might feel that way, and then people say, well, if Kandi wasn't here, you wouldn't have shit, which is true. But should that mean I shouldn't be able to speak up if I have an opinion? I gotta just do what Kandi says, but you do? Because she wouldn't be here. So it's just
so what did Kandi say that Tasha didn't want to do? What are we talking about here? This is literally just a bunch of assumptions. This is literally just people just projecting. This is literally based on nothing. No fact that can say Kandi's at fault here. That's my whole point.
Yeah, I'm not talking about right now. I'm saying their history in general. I'm
saying in general for the girl group, for them, for this issue right now, everyone is blaming Kandi.
Because of the history. Like, I know, I get what you're saying. There's nothing to say, oh, Kandi slit her tires. There's no definite things. So everybody's just going by rumors and things
her
that happen
at the group speaks volumes to me.
Yeah, definitely. But that don't mean anything, because when that first came out, they were saying, well, that's where the money is and I have to do my job. So we'll never know, but I just think they all have a part. And just like Beyonce had an ego that I didn't realize till going back looking at the stuff and see how she rolled her eyes and how she spoke, Kandi has same thing, as she should, but it's hard when you're the LaTavia. And you shouldn't be when you got a voice that might be comparable or better.
Trying to make my girls do shows without her. It was her choice not to do the shows. And to be clear, this promoter is the same promoter that promoted the show last Christmas when Tiny and I missed the show because we had got COVID. So we were obligated to make up that show. She was supposed to make it up with us.
So again, this is an obligation from previous work because they had to cancel shows or whatever. So it's not like something that was sprung on her and they had to this is just. I'm sorry. To me, it sounds like Tasha's having attention. She's just doing what she wants to do at this point, because that's what she wants to do, and her husband's in her ear.
Yeah.
And it didn't work for you last time, girl. I mean, you should probably look at the history and say, this didn't work before. Like, this literally didn't work before. Why are we repeating this once again when we have this second chance?
Mm-hmm. And now. This to what you're saying. This is why I see what you're saying this way, because now you're fucking up group shit. This was an obligation, and you're not showing up because you have a solo deal to go record gospel music. You're gonna sell 2 copies if you're lucky.
Allegedly.
Because a legend might sell 2 in gospel and go gold. girl, you gonna get half a stream.
Not go.
You should have sold this damn song. You sing it on our TikTok. Shout out to our TikTok, them boys cray. And if you're on this YouTube, please hit like, comment, and subscribe. We want to know your thoughts on this. But let's get into. Look at Tiny's face. She is over it this whole time. Tiny is normally the.
We're waiting.
I'm saying Tiny is the jokey one. She is just go.
He didn't stop her from doing the show. She stepped back. And it wasn't just because of this show. It was another show with a different promoter that she didn't. Her, they say she booked up. She was working on her solo project, and we give her. Everybody have talents. All our talents not attached to each other.
You know what?
You see the way that her sister is talking, like in third person, almost like they say she's booked. Like they don't talk. Like right at this point, they're not talking. At this point, she's not getting this information.
Until you just said that. Yeah,
she's not getting this information firsthand. She's hearing from management. She's hearing from people in her camp saying, "Oh, I'm booked, and when I'm not booked, I'll be back with the group." Like that. It's serious stuff going on here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, you're not going to tell me that my sister is going to side with two other people against me just for a check. When
I can see that.
I don't know.
If she's not disrespecting her, and Kandi didn't say your mama's trash. If you don't want me to work with them and I got to go to work because I'm the breadwinner in my house, I'm going to go to work with them. You need to understand that's my sister. I might not like what y'all doing, but this is my job.
In that position, that's what you would do. You would go back to work because that's your job. And
I don't know. I would have to decide if I'm making the money for my family. I'm choosing my family first because I have to provide.
I know. But I'm asking you, if that was your situation,
if I was Tamika,
yes,
I would go join my group. I would talk to my sister. We would have a conversation.
But I'm saying you would badmouth your sister. You would you would say, she just threw this out there, which was a lie. She was telling her, she said in this interview, my sister's a liar.
No. I would go in my group. I'm not talking about it. Like Tiny or Kandi should have been talking.
Give me this situation as it is right now, the way it's playing out. Do you think the sister is just doing this for a check and saying her other sister's a liar just for a check?
No,
that's a little bit. That's a little bit much.
This is different now. I'm saying in the beginning when this first started, and it was supposedly over the husband, and they said, "Well, she's rocking with the group," and then they were going on tour as the three. That's what it was back then. They were saying
that was when the original charge from Tasha came out that they had threatened my husband, and she was saying that was only said because she was covering her ass, so she was calling her a liar from the very beginning.
I know, but we didn't have a response then. So I'm saying, to me back then it looked like, okay, I'm choosing work. Now that we see there's more to it, I don't know, because if you're lying, I shouldn't call you out.
That's all I was saying. So I don't think, knowing everything we know and that we know from the outside looking in, I don't think that I keep saying the sister. What is her name?
LaTocha or Tamika?
Tamika chose the group just for a check and said, I'm going to throw my sister underneath the bus. I don't think that's the situation here.
See, we're saying the same thing. I'm saying back then she didn't throw her under the bus. She just said, I'm going with my girls, and then it got messy. If I'm already going with my girls, I'm not throwing you under the bus.
She's saying LaTocha lied from the beginning. You keep saying back then like it's something.
But I'm saying now because it's dirty, and you called me out and said something about me and my mom. So now I don't give a fuck. It's no hold bars. But before it was just me going to work. Now you said it's because I said, I said something. So now I'm defending myself. When y'all said that's what LaTocha was doing, making up shit to defend herself. So we just don't know. We just don't know. But
exactly,
I think
that's what I'm saying.
I think her original motive
to go ahead and place blame. Like people are literally placing blame like they know.
Yeah, I'm just saying her motive to me was, I'm going to work. Y'all have your own beef. I'm not gonna say nothing about it. Y'all got. I thought that was what she went in for, and I think she said that. Like, it's an obligation basically. But then y'all got messy and some stuff going on. I'm not saying, oh, now I'm gonna go bad mouth you so I can get more money from the shade room. They don't get paid from the clicks. I think it kind of got messier as it went. And now, how do you fix that as a sister? Like, it's just now you're defending yourself because your sister bad mouth you. It's too much, and your mother's in it. Like, oh, this is messy.
I gotta definitely supporting her solo deal.
Oh, yeah, I gotta call it one time and just say, what I need.
They needed to laugh. She did that.
So, and let me just say this, I don't want to really go back and forth with the drama overall, like what he said. It's nothing. I want people to know there is nothing wrong with her doing a solo project, because people are like, well, why can't she? We definitely support her in all her solo endeavors.
Kandi said we've been here before. We've supported her solo endeavors that went double wood. And so we will do that again. I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
to me, I feel like this is what it should be. So there's the music that should be its own thing, but then there's the husband being a manager, like you said, and then it's what it's so many different factors in this shit. But it seems like if we just come together for the music, we don't have to like each other. But it's like you said, with the manager being involved, and I'm saying all this to say I'm kind of siding with you more as the story going, because I was definitely a Kandi blamer. And I think Kandi has her parts. I think Tamika has her part. Tiny, I think Tamika has bigger parts behind the scenes now.
When girl groups break up, I think everyone in the group plays their role in the decimation of that group. I don't ever think it's one person. I don't ever think so.
Unless it's Aubrey O'Day. Unless it's Aubrey O'Day. And I love you, girl, but you broke up Danity Kane. All right.
Like 3 times.
Shit. Anything that you want to do, you know what I mean? We all have solo separate things that we do, so it's not a big deal about that. When we come together, let's come together. I just don't want us to publicly, at the end of the day, Xscape is like a legacy that we could keep going forever and ever. And so that's why we still do shows, because it's like we want to keep the name of Xscape alive.
Absolutely.
And we're going to hold it down.
Yes, y'all
And
will.
you'll see on Sunday.
Hold it down.
It goes down.
I love y'all.
It goes down.
We got this. Yeah, it's a lot.
It's this thing runs deep, and it has no place to go. Like, y'all got the family in it now, like your mother, and y'all now bad mouthing each other. It's a lot. I hope these checks is worth it, because then I guess this stuff does get addressed on the TV show. So Kandi did Amazon
Tiny
Live.
said, Tiny said she can't wait for the show to drop. She said there's gonna be so much information that people finally get to see, and then I think that'll give us more of an insight to make, a judgment call on who's wrong and who's right. You know what I mean? It's like people are they're just going off of what they see from just from the outside looking in. We don't even have like a reality show to base anything on, or to say somebody's wrong or someone did this or someone did that.
Yeah,
we'll see how this looks,
and we'll never know the truth for real, because there's always just gonna be some kind of industry antics, some bullshit. Like, at the end of the day, Jermaine gonna get prayer. You did that, little mother. All right, y'all. We're gonna be, I guess, discussing Xscape for 2023, because the show's coming. It's gonna be drama. She dropping that solo single album. We'll see.
Y'all check out our TikTok page. Them boys cry.
And just, hey, hit the like button, subscribe twice, hit that bell, and comment, y'all. All right, we'll see you in the comments. Thank y'all. Bye.